You're listening to Mornings with Pat Kreitlow on WRCE. I'm Bo Hendricks, and here's what's going on in Richland Center this morning.
Michelle Reinen from DadCap is here for our monthly visit on the morning show about some protection topics and tips for October. Well, Michelle, I think we need to be aware of cybersecurity at all times, but during October, there's a special month set aside for it, right?
Absolutely. It's the perfect opportunity for consumers to brush up on everyday cybersecurity practices that can help protect them from scams, malware, device failure, and just other common issues. And over time, our digital spaces can become cluttered with out-of-place and unnecessary data, just like our junk drawers at home. And we hope consumers take time this month to clean up and organize their digital files with just some basic, simple tips and practices that consumers can add to their everyday cybersecurity routines.
So I guess we never probably back up things enough. We need to do that more, don't we?
You're correct. Important digital files like work, photos, personal documents, and receipts should be backed up on an external storage device or with a cloud storage device because this protects these files in case the original device fails or if it's compromised by malware. So create a regular backup routine for extra security. Figure out what works best for you. Is it every day, once a week, once a month? Every time you take X amount of photos on your other device, but find the routine that works best for you in securing your information.
How long should we keep things, like sensitive information? Should you delete it eventually, or how do you look at it?
Yeah, we need to regularly review those saved files so we can identify unneeded sensitive documents. For example, old tax paperwork that we may have electronically. It's not staring us in the face is the same as it would if it's in a file cabinet. And then when you get rid of it, you need to be sure you're fully deleting them from the device. And that even means your backup storage. Don't just delete it from your baseline device. You need to be sure if that sensitive files were ever backed up, that they're also removed from that backup device so you don't allow inappropriate access to that information.
We should probably not email our Social Security number and things like that to somebody else, should we?
You're correct. Please do not do that. Even if it is sent to a trusted source like a friend or family member, sensitive data like your personally identifiable information, Social Security number, bank accounts, dates of birth, and other account passwords should never be sent by email, text message, or direct message. You want to be sure that whenever you are allowing that information out of your hands, you're doing so in a very secure manner that may be face-to-face contact or using encryption or directly to a secure portal, but don't just use that email, text, or direct message methodology.
And if we have a USB thumb drive, we probably should delete things off there when we're done using them too?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's your little small storage device, if you will, the file folder itself, not the big file cabinet. But be cautious using USB thumb drives. They're really convenient for sharing files, but they can also spread viruses and malware. So you can easily lose them as well. So if you have sensitive data on that, you want to make sure that it's securely stored on that device if you're transporting it, because it could end up out of your bag or out of your hand and someone else could gain access to it. And in turn, if you see a device or receive one through a contest, promotion, or free, be cautious when plugging that directly into the computer, because unless you know where it's been and who's had access to it, where it's come from, you could be loading something onto your device that will give it a virus or malware. You need to be very cautious with those small little thumb drives.
Another October topic is fake landlords offering real housing. What is that all about, Michelle?
Yeah, this is a scam spotlight. We heard from a tenant who reported to us that the landlord of their newly rented apartment was not really a landlord at all. Before moving in, the tenant had paid the first month of rent, a security deposit, and signed a lease. Well, that seems pretty normal, but the tenant moved in at the beginning of the month and contacted the landlord later when they had a maintenance request to fix a water leak, and they received no response. Well, days after submitting that request, the apartment ceiling actually collapsed. And while no one was injured, the tenant again tried to contact the landlord and received no response. Local officials inspected the damage, and they deemed the property uninhabitable. Well, so now the tenant really needed to get a hold of the landlord, but they began searching the property records online to find out other contact information for the landlord, and they discovered that the property was actually listed as a short-term vacation rental on Airbnb and wasn't really a long-term, housing rental for lease. So to their surprise, the landlord wasn't a landlord. The landlord was really a scammer, the person who entered into the lease with this tenant, and they had sublet the property without the knowledge or consent of the real owner, and that scammer took the tenant's money and, of course, that personal information in order to even originally rent the property, and the tenant was unable to recover their money or compensation for the damaged property that they had.
What's the best way to kind of run a check on a landlord?
So we hope everyone runs internet searches for the landlord's name and property address and then investigate those results. Really take a look at them. Then ask the landlord for contact information of past and current tenants, because then you can ask them about that renting experience, that referral type situation. But then search for the property on popular rental listing websites like rent.com, apartments.com, apartmentlist.com. There's many of them. If it appears there, the tenant can then confirm the landlord's listed contact information matches what they've received as the contact information and make sure things look like they align appropriately.
You've been listening to WRCE's Local Report on Mornings with Pat Kreitlow. Take your favorite WRCE shows with you on the go by downloading the Civic Media app in the Apple or Google stores. For WRCE and Civic Media, I'm Bo Henricks.